today we are in England and I met G and Lamorna and they're living in their self-converted double-decker bus and today they're gonna give us a tour. Let's have a look.
Cool. Hey guys.
So you have been living 5 years almost already.
Yeah, nearly 5 years now.
It took you almost 2 years to convert it?
We did it in 2 years. I was working full time, so it's just evenings and weekends.
Yeah. And how you came up with this idea? Why double-decker bus?
Well, we were on holiday. Well, we were on our honeymoon. We were traveling in America and we had a van that we were traveling in. We really loved it. And we decided when we got back to England, we should buy a van to live in. And we thought maybe having a bit more space in a van would be a good idea. So we thought, well, we could buy a bus. And then we thought, well, if we could buy a bus, maybe we could buy a double-decker bus. And we didn't really think that the idea would actually happen. But then we had a couple of glasses of wine and started looking on eBay. So that's where the journey began, to look for the right bus.
So and you ended up with this, what is that, which year and how big is it? And
It's 1997, I think.
It's a 6.
6 or 7.
It's a Scania.
Scania, Brighton and Hove public bus.
okay.
And then Brighton. Then it went up to Leicester and became like a bus for a coach company.
Yeah.
And school trips and things. And actually we found a guy who gave us the entire history of the bus's life, the paint colours, who was driving it. Amazing.
Okay.
And we had, because when we were doing the conversion, we were putting a few photos online and we had a message from someone saying, I used to drive this bus in Brighton, which was amazing. And he sent us the route that it used to go, which was really lovely.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So I guess it had huge mileage?
Apparently about 450,000.
Okay.
But something we found when we were bus shopping is that you don't look at mileage for buses. It's not a thing like when you're buying a van or a car.
Yeah.
Apparently they go over 1 million and then they just go back to zero again. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
And how big is it?
It's 10 metres long,
Yeah.
2.5 metres wide and 4.2 metres high.
Okay.
And if you want to talk about miles to the gallon, there's about 9. We can be completely off-grid. Yeah. We cheat a little bit in the winter because we have the luxury of being able to plug in here. Yeah. So we could survive. We'd have to just be a little bit more economical in the winter. Yeah. So now with the sun out, we'd just be off-grid for the rest of the summer.
Okay. So what is the system?
So we've got 6 panels on the roof. They run down to 2 lithium batteries. So about 5 kilowatts of lithium battery. That all runs through Victron controllers. Yeah. So we've got a step down, it's 48 volt lithium, just because that's a lot cheaper. It steps down to 12 volt for all the lights and everything, and it steps up to 240 there's a 240 ring circuit downstairs and upstairs for all the plug sockets. And
How many solar panels in watts?
2.5 kilowatts on the roof.
Okay. Yeah. So I believe like between when you're here, like probably around October, November until like February, you need a bit help, no?
Yeah, we need a little bit of help. Like I said, we could survive.
Yeah.
But we've got a couple of slim radiators in there, which just keeps it ticking over.
Yeah.
If not, you'll see later we've got the log fire, diesel heater, other sources of heat. But yeah, it helps to be plugged in. But it's not a necessity.
Right.
So we've got a few additional bits and pieces that we've made modifications to the outside of the bus. So we've got this little bit here. We've got water, but everybody's got that. We've got a little gas inlet, so we can plug in our gas barbecue.
Nice.
Very nice.
Then over here, this was my birthday present last year. Lamorna kindly got me a pizza oven because we love pizza.
And you use it often?
Oh, we used it last night actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
It makes the best pizzas in like 2 minutes straight. It's amazing.
Yeah.
That's electric hookup, and then we've got an outdoor shower. If we fancy having an outside shower as well as the inside one, or we want to wash the dog off, it's quite handy in the winter.
It's very handy for the muddy dog.
And how much water do you have? The tank?
We've got fresh water 250 litre, and then grey 180, and then we've just got compost toilets. So
and this is an engine, I guess?
Yeah, this is, well, all around the back, but
access to it.
Part of the engine, and the rest goes that way.
Yeah. And you got that awning as well?
Yes, the awning.
I
the
guess
awning is 6 metres, it comes out 3 metres, so it's only halfway at the moment because it was windy last night.
I guess this was one of the most expensive purchases, no? Or you got it second hand?
We got it second hand.
We had a bit of a story with this. We bought one second hand, and then while it was parked up and we were converting it, a lorry drove into the awning.
Ooh.
So their insurance paid out and bought us a new one.
Oh, amazing.
So it's even better. So we got a brand new one.
Yeah.
Do we sell the other one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super deal. I mean, I guess a bit hassle and stress.
Yeah,
We don't tend to get too stressed about things.
If we got stressed, we wouldn't have built a bus.
No, that's true.
yeah, right. And have you taken it for a ride, like for trips, or you just built it and?
We haven't gone very far. We've driven around where we live on the farm.
Okay.
Other than that, it's gone for an MOT up in Leicester in a service and came back with some new tyres. And the driver who took it away said it was great. But other than that, we haven't actually got very far yet.
I think because we've had a camper van, if we want to go for away for a weekend, then we'll just take a camper van because it's a little bit easier for parking and for being a bit more stealthy.
And a bit more economical on fuel.
And economical for fuel, yeah, that's true.
To the entrance of the bus, we put in some patio doors because if anyone who's ridden on a double-decker knows, they let all the air and the wind in. So that was first thing to put in and get the bus nice and secure. And then we also changed this, which was the emergency button that opened the doors, into our doorbell.
Welcome to the inside. We realised that when we built the bus, we needed somewhere to hang coats, and this seemed like the most obvious location. So slightly unusual, but we're not going to be sitting in the driver's seat.
You've got to have shoes somewhere, so they got to live there. They didn't get hidden away. I built it perfectly to my height.
Yeah.
So you literally have like 5 mil above.
Yeah.
Upstairs, I can't stand up.
So how tall are you?
168. No, 186.
186.
6 foot 1.5. 186.
Yeah. Was it difficult to find exactly this bus? Like, have you had a look on many of them, or?
We did. We went to some almost like bus graveyards, and which you would never have known existed when we were bus searching and shopping. But and there'll be like almost like hundreds of buses, single deckers, double deckers, some that had been partially converted or maybe used as restaurants or cafes or tour buses or nurseries before, all sorts. You know, some of them were so in such a state of disrepair, they would have like trees growing through them, like properly strange places, like underneath the bridge of a motorway or something like that. And needless to say, we didn't get any buses from
This
there.
one had been used the day before we bought it for kids, so at least we knew it all
It's a
worked.
school bus.
Yeah.
And actually the same people we bought it from, they've been the ones who've been servicing and MOT as well.
Yeah.
And they were really excited to see how it changed.
Yeah, right.
So they're like our number one fans.
And what price range you're looking at when you're looking for such a bus?
Not expensive because they're completely impractical. Nobody wants them.
Okay.
So we paid 4,000 English for this.
And there were more expensive, more cheaper ones?
You could get one for probably about 1,000.
Oh wow.
And you could
But
pay-
still running the one, or
Probably
more
needs
stationary.
towing. Just get the shell for that.
Yeah.
And you can pay a lot more.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're pretty.
That's amazing. £4,000.
Yeah.
It's like trailer is more expensive if you want to build a tiny house.
Yeah.
I mean, that came just with all the seats and everything, so then you've got the conversion costs.
So you had to take out all seats.
Yeah.
Everything,
Well, actually, we asked them to take out the seats for us
Okay.
because they offered.
Yeah.
So they left a few seats we thought we might use, which
Yeah.
we didn't in the end. We did keep some old bus fabric,
Yeah,
but it was like 40 years of dust, so we decided not to use it.
And how many seats were here?
It's down here, hang on.
Yeah, where's the sign? You've taken the
I
sign
took it
away.
down because
So we've
I was
got
cleaning.
some of the original features that we put back up. So you'll see up here, we've got this little sign. We've also, this is the original red.
Yeah.
We've also got the original sign up here.
Right.
actually behind that, if I get in the way, is the old destination route
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
of all
So-
the stops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can actually see where it was going.
Yeah.
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 But this was the first one, no? 2003. Yeah, destinations.
And then this is how many it used to seat. So
Okay.
the original.
80 people, wow.
Yeah. I love the fact that they're called saloons.
Yeah.
A saloon. It sounds like a western, doesn't
yeah.
it?
Used to be stuck up there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you left the bars, this original,
Yes.
just as they were.
So we adjusted some of them, but
Yeah.
most of these are original and left where they
Nice.
were.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Where
so-
we were able to, we took some of the original features, and you'll see some of them later,
Yeah.
used in a quirky way,
Yeah.
in a bit like how we've modified the
Bell button.
bell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, and here is beginning of the kitchen.
Do you want to do kitchen?
Yeah, so we've got our fridge freezer here that runs off 12 volt, 240 and gas.
Okay, so it's proper like caravan fridge.
Yeah.
That was one of the most expensive things we bought. Apart from the solar.
And we did find that was it a refurbished model? Yeah, so we didn't pay full price for that. But it was really important to us when we were converting the bus that we found reused items, recycled items, we could repurpose things to keep the costs down, but also we wanted the bus to be as environmentally friendly as possible.
Yeah.
So rather than just going out and buying sort of brand new everything, we wanted to be a bit smart about how we did that.
Right.
So we had this slightly useless space underneath the stairs. So we converted that into our larder.
Oh, nice.
So we've
Love
got bits and pieces in here.
There are two of them.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
That used to hold all the CCTV cables and camera.
Yeah. That's lovely.
So then we've got some cupboards. We've got our oven, which again is a second-hand one. So it's a gas oven, so that runs from our LPG.
Okay.
It's got an electric grill, but we don't tend to use the grill very often.
Yeah.
We've got our rubbish bins in here.
That's important. People are often forgetting to put rubbish bins, and then they're somewhere on the floor on the way.
Yeah. No, rubbish bins here, nice and easy, close to the door. Normal bin, recycling bin.
Yeah.
And then we've got a very handy extra little bit of worktop space, which we use all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And even better is when
More
you
for
finish
laptop or more for kitchen?
kitchen.
Kitchen.
For
You
kitchen.
can just go like that with your rubbish.
Oh, nice. So basically, you close it and
more
rubbish
cupboards.
goes down.
Yeah.
Nice.
Next, we've got our water gauges up here for our fresh water tank and our grey.
Yeah.
Again, nice and handy to get to.
Then we've got extractor fans, which we built out of computer fans. They just work here. Just extracts that side, but we wanted a really powerful fan. You couldn't get one that worked on 12 volt that I could find from standard, so we just built it.
And works well?
Brilliantly.
Okay.
Yeah, if you stand out there, you can smell whatever's cooking.
Yeah.
Got a pipe through there.
Yeah, right. And there is just this 40 something, no, it's like 125 mil fan.
It's 150, I think.
150?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the most powerful one I could find.
Yeah.
But if you put anything against it, it just shuts up.
And that's cheap as well, because you just buy a fan and that's it.
Exactly.
Yeah, perfect. And proper kitchen.
Yeah.
Did you order it somewhere and just to install it here, or you built yourself?
So I did all the calculations of my time and materials to build it,
Yeah.
and it was cheaper to buy it. So it's one of the few things we bought off the shelf.
Yeah.
So it's actually an
Well,
IKEA kitchen.
Just the units.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they are recycled. IKEA
Okay.
have a nice recycled option, so that's the one we went for.
And worktop, and then all
No, the worktop, that was a
that was
Marketplace.
16. Yeah, it was £16,
Well,
yeah. And it was a 3 metre.
and it was damaged.
Which was why we were able to have that extra piece to use with that extra piece of worktop.
yeah.
So that was a really good deal. We're very
Nice.
happy with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all the copper surround here, which is the same you'll see behind you on the fire, was from a place I used to work in France that was getting rid of it.
Yeah.
And it was big sheets of copper. And I thought it's too good to throw away. So I kept it for years and finally found use for it. So it was all bent and shaped.
So that was
to fit
quite
the
a
kitchen.
task actually, because it had to be bent to suit the contours and then bent inwards.
Yeah.
This whole, that
Yeah.
was quite a...
And you're a builder by profession? Or?
No. So I grew up in a very old house and my dad was very practical.
Yeah,
so it was very much a case of fix it rather than pay someone else.
Yeah.
And so I just learned all the way through my life that was the best approach to things, and I just carried it on for the bus.
Okay. And this was first so big project you did?
First big project, a lot of YouTubing,
Yeah.
a lot of watching other people and seeing how they did it.
Yeah, that's the best way to learn it.
And lots of watching Greg Virgo. Do you know Greg?
No.
He's like the godfather of conversions in my eyes.
Yeah.
He does very methodical, detailed, slow videos.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
But he will read a manual of 100 pages and tell you what you need to know
Okay.
rather than budget.
Yeah.
And he's
Ah,
brilliant.
nice. And they have like dishwasher and stuff, or it's just cupboard?
Sadly not.
Yeah. And some cozy bench with a tiny table.
Yeah, just storage underneath. Then the bench folds away,
Oh, yeah.
some more space, and then just drawers here full of food.
And that is your heating source.
So we have
electric-
a radiator here,
Yeah.
diesel heater under there,
Yeah.
and a log fire just behind you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The radiator went in, so we did one winter without the radiators, didn't we?
Yeah.
And then after the first winter, we just wanted some way to kind of give a little bit of extra, because the fire is great, it's amazing, but just if you're in, you know, it's great if you're here for a couple of hours, but if you just want to take the edge off the chill, just in addition to the diesel heater, and the radiators we can put on the smart plugs. So we can have them to come on early in the morning before we get up, and it makes the bus nice and warm.
Yeah. So.
This also is one of my favourite places to sit because we've hung up some bird feeders outside, and I think because we've been outside today, they've been scared away a little bit, but we get so many lovely, lovely birds here, and we've got this feeder. They come up right close and you can see them feeding. They probably will hide now because we're filming, but it's so lovely. It's
They're
like
shy of camera.
yeah, it's like when you go to a special place to watch birds and there's a hide and you can hide and watch the birds. Except I think it's the other way around here because we're the ones in the cage.
Right.
You know, so maybe they're watching us. I don't.
So yeah, lovely fireplace here. Again, like I said about the copper surround. So this has got a heat shield behind it, heat-proof shield, and then a gap of 12 mil for the copper, because a lot of people said you can't put copper, but you can, and it's been absolutely fine. We've got a single skin flue to here, and then it changes to a double skin to go through upstairs, just so we could have the wood closer to it.
Yeah.
And it kicks out loads of heat. It's brilliant.
And you got as well second-hand wood stuff. Or?
We actually bought that
We
new.
did. We did buy a fire second-hand, but because of all of the different companies and all the different sizes of flues, we couldn't find flue that would then fit. Is that
Fit
right?
what we wanted,
Yeah,
without
yeah.
making a special piece, and it ended up just easier
Yeah.
Yeah.
to get this.
Yeah.
But the slate is second-hand.
Yeah. And here are wheel arches, right?
Yeah, so that's the only tricky thing with. No, actually, they're further back.
Okay.
Behind.
One of the interesting things converting was all the different levels on the bottom floor.
Yeah.
So behind you, 2 wheel arches. In the bathroom, you'll see in a minute, 2 wheel arches. Under here is a big radiator, and under here is some air suspension.
Oh, okay.
So there's no way of lowering those without
Yeah.
raising everything else to it. So we had to kind of work around the height difference.
Yeah.
And then that's why we put the seating area where it was already higher, because you can't actually stand up here. This table has 3 different forms.
Yeah.
So the whole thing lifts up and you can take it down, slides into here, and then this turns into either a U shape or a small bed. So you've got arms that fold out and they
sections.
Okay.
like
sections
that.
fall over,
Yeah.
the
Oh, we've got
cushions
extra
go down.
cushions.
Right.
And in the winter you've got the fire lit. It's quite a nice place just to
Like a
chill.
day
chill
bed.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the dog likes to go under there as well, as she is now.
Yeah. Oh, she's very cute.
Who is the doggy? How old is she?
This is Maya, and Maya is 5. She's just turned 5. Hi little one. Hi.
She's camera shy.
And she's a half border collie, half working cocker spaniel.
Okay.
She's very good.
And then we've got storage under these seats as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because storage is vitally important in a tiny house, as you know.
Yeah.
So anywhere we could find storage, even if you just move Lamorna behind me. This was a step, and I've made it into the world's smallest log store.
Oh, nice.
So you can get 5 extra logs in there. We have a
Yeah.
few more there.
Yeah.
But I thought, well, there's no point not using it, so
Yeah.
that became.
And I like that shelf you built in the wall.
Yes. Yeah.
And there as well, by the window, we made extra storage. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Everywhere. There's even. You have to show this, but I even put storage here
Okay.
But that's where we keep our plastic bags.
because why not? It was
Yeah.
like 2 foot of space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's very clever actually to use these slide outs, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to get what is really back
Yeah.
in the back.
And everything is on push,
Yeah.
even though it's got a handle.
And how about the
maybe-
driving? What do you do when
So the first time we drove down the hill was
Yeah.
hilarious. So I was sat driving. Lamorna, I think you were in the back.
Yeah, I was here. I was
That's right.
stood here.
All
Because
the drawers
the drawers.
open.
Now, since then, we've put systems in place to close and lock all of the drawers.
Okay.
But we didn't have them then.
So we've
So
got
I was
magnets on
here,
them.
sort of like trying to stop all of the. And then G is
I
driving.
was like this.
G is driving, and then suddenly we hear this crash, and the chair from upstairs comes falling, like crashing down the stairs. So now I'm like this, and then we had a plant, and the plant was falling over as well. Yeah.
So we learned.
We learned. You know, you learn along the way.
All the drawers now have got magnetic child lock, which we can put on when we're driving.
Okay. So you just put magnet somewhere in the corner and then it locks it.
Yeah. I think, just inside. Yeah, they're just like those little kid magnet ones. You just magnet over the front.
That's clever. And it keeps it like it doesn't go.
Yeah.
Yeah, keeps them closed.
Yeah. I think you stick in this one. Yeah, these.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
And then when to open it, you have to put magnet.
Put a magnet on the front.
Yeah. Oh, that's clever. Because I just put bungee rope. It stays there.
I think it probably takes us about an hour to pack down to drive. Because we built it as a house predominantly as opposed to a van for travelling. Yeah. We deliberately were happy with that amount of time. But about an hour to take everything off the walls and the shelves and then get it ready.
Yeah. But I mean, like, even here, this was a later addition. But I mean, it's not a huge amount to put away in here. You know, we've got a few candles and things, but most of the, like, this is all contained. The shelves are all contained. These are all contained. Yeah, it's not too.
And you got decoration in your window.
Yeah.
We're still not sort of quite sure when and how
it just
that happened.
One day we were away in a really, really hot day, and I think the glass expanded. Yeah. And there was a little fracture in it before. Yeah. And it just popped.
Yeah. It's quite pretty. So
it looks nice.
Yeah,
we just need to put foley, like it keeps it there.
Yeah.
Nice.
Should we show you the bathroom?
Yep.
Shall I stay this side because it's quite small?
And the wall to the bathroom is beautiful as well.
I did this.
Yeah,
this was my project. Yeah, I found a picture online. I thought that looks really nice. So I had some help cutting the wood. Yeah. And then I did this with a combination of, there's a few different coloured stains. I found a really dark stain, like a medium stain. These mid-colour pieces I painted white, and then I put a bit of the stain over them to get this tone. Yeah. Yeah, I'm really happy with it.
Yeah, it looks very beautiful. And this is the deepest point.
Yeah, like so when we were coming up with the design for the bus, we created lots of different potential configurations. One had the bathroom much closer to the stairs, but we knew that we needed a deep point for head height. Yeah. So even though this is a slightly unusual configuration, this is what worked best for us, because the percentage of time that we spend in the bathroom is minimal compared to the percentage of time we spend in the main living areas. So we've got the shower here. We've got shower doors that come round and meet at the front. The wall, I wanted sort of like a rainforest vibe. So this is wallpaper. Yeah. And then we purchased a specially cut piece of Perspex that would fit this space with the holes cut in it so that we could then install the shower. Nice. On this side we've got a cabinet, the mirror and more storage. We've also got the sink here. Yeah. And then this side we have our composting toilet and and just a few little handy shelves. Yeah. So these are the wheel arches, they're much higher. These are the wheel arches. Yeah, and then we've just got the bamboo. You can buy this from anywhere really. You can just to continue with the rainforest theme. It's like a film applied. Yeah, a film that you can put over the windows. Yeah.
Nice. Share the little mind your head sign.
Oh, yeah, you might need to, if I sit on the toilet here, you can come in and see this. So I said about how we used some of the signs in different ways. We've got a little sign here. You might need to come away in warning, please mind your head when leaving your seat.
That's funny. And you decided to keep as many windows as possible? And there is no issue with condensation and stuff? No?
Yeah, so a lot of people that convert double-deckers put really small double-glazed windows in to keep the heat. But we really enjoy the view. We live in a beautiful spot in the countryside, so we want to keep as much of the views as possible. So what we've got in all the windows is a tint that reflects some of the solar. And we did have an issue the first winter with condensation, but since then we bought a dehumidifier, and we just turn it on now, and every morning we wake up, there's absolutely no condensation.
Right.
And then we just empty the dehumidifier probably once a week.
Yeah.
Probably the best thing we bought since building it.
There is one more button, I guess. It's not to stop the bus.
Yeah, so this one used to be on the other side of the bus.
Yeah.
And it just turns on and off the little stair lights. So when I was building on a Sunday, I would call it my Funday, because my fun was putting in things like this.
Yeah.
That all had to go through different relays and momentary circuits which are hidden in the walls. And it was the sort of thing that wasn't essential, it definitely wasn't needed to be done at that time, but it was my day of doing the little fun things which actually make the bus more interesting at the
Right.
end
And more quirky.
more quirky, more rewarding for us.
Yeah.
And this is the old mirror which would be at the top, so when the driver was sat in the driver's seat he could see all the kids at the back and what they were doing. So we've just moved it. So the weight was 10.5 tons originally. I haven't had it weighed since, but we took out 80 seat frames and seats, and we have 80 less people in it.
Yeah.
Than it's,
So
than it's
10 and a
weighed.
half was calculating 60 people, 80 kilos each.
80 people,
80 kilos,
each.
80 kilos, yeah.
Plus all the seats
Yeah,
themselves.
yeah.
So I think we're probably about the same after
Yeah.
the conversion. This used to be Lamorna's office, and then I got into DJing and mixing, so I was slowly taking over more and more of the office area.
I'm getting a smaller space.
But yes, the office area, and then this is another one of my Sunday fun days. So it was a light switch, which was the old push button to stop the bus. Used to ring the bell.
And that's the lights.
Turns on these lights. And then we put in the balustrade here and changed all these from the original configuration.
So yeah, originally this was curved,
Yeah,
and it
came
came
out
much
there,
more into the room.
which
Yeah.
was to stop you hitting your head.
Right.
We built a bit more of the floor out.
Yeah.
And then in this area we've got seats that come out if you want extra seats, and we also use these to go up through the hatch so you can get onto the roof. We've got a little garden area. This is a table which slides out, and it's got leaves that fold down. So if we want to play board games or do a jigsaw or something, you've got an extra table.
Oh, nice.
And then inside our drawers we've got all our power.
Yeah.
So the USB sockets are inside. We didn't want to have things on top.
Yeah.
And this piece of wood we found, it's a piece of Wellingtonia. We found it at a local sawmill, and they cut it to the right depth for us. And then we spent about a day, or a friend of mine did, sanding it down, joined two pieces together, cut it to shape. And it used to be a very deep red, but it's gone a bit brown now.
Yeah.
But it's a nice touch.
Yeah.
And it didn't shrink afterwards to install?
It's moved a little bit,
Yeah.
but that's it really.
Yeah.
Lots of
Nice.
coats of varnish both
Yeah.
sides.
Cool. And this is a bookshelf?
This is a
Humidifier?
bookshelf on wheels. So this is
Oh,
our dehumidifier that we spoke about earlier.
Yeah.
In the garage at that we have air conditioning units, so we can switch that out from the winter to the summer.
Yeah.
And that
So there's a
runs-
hole behind this that goes all the way through out to the outside of the bus, like this side. So that's therefore the air conditioning.
Right.
And yeah, the air conditioning and the dehumidifier unit are about the same size.
Well, it makes a
Purposely.
measure.
Yeah. So it's great in the summer. We can just cool off because it is a little bit like an oven because we do have the windows. But yeah, this moves, but we haven't really moved it, have we?
No, if you want to, you can, it's on wheels, so you can swing it around to make a partition between
That's
the
what
two
we were
rooms.
thinking when
Okay,
we
yeah.
created it, but we don't really move it very
Yeah.
often.
And it doesn't move when you drive?
When we drive, put it against here and we strap it into
Okay,
to
yeah.
these.
Yeah.
So we have our swing chair,
You
which
can, you can sit down in that, so you're not sit down. So you're
generally the dog sits in more than we sit in. But it's quite handy, especially when you're watching TV, which the morning can show you where the TV is.
not. So one thing that we didn't want to have was a TV that was out.
Yeah.
Because it sort of tends to dominate the room. So we looked at various options and we found this lift mechanism, which G then built into the unit. So we have a sound bar underneath. This is held on by magnets, so we can access all of the mechanism if we do need to. And it's got holes cut into it to let extra sound come out. And yeah, it's just a lovely way to sit and watch TV. It's not the biggest TV, but it's definitely big enough for us. And when we're finished, it goes away. Shall I put it back down?
Yeah. We also have a big projector screen which we use outside the bus.
Yeah.
So we can put it under the awning. It goes like suctions onto the edge of the bus and a projector. So if we want to sit outside on beanbag with a fire pit and watch a film,
That's really nice.
it's quite a nice way to do it as well.
Yeah, especially now when it's nice weather.
Yeah.
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 And it's interesting how the floor is going down. That's for seats, right?
Yeah,
For
so,
legs.
Well, so in all buses, double-deckers, they've got curved ceilings.
Yeah.
Not the front section, which is flat. And a lot of people, when they convert them, they flatten them off.
Yeah.
But we didn't want to lose that little bit of extra head height. So I just built everything with a curve.
Yeah.
Also, it was going to be quite a lot of work just to take away the curve.
But less work in building everything else.
Well-
About the same, I reckon. But so you've got extra, it's A to do with strength, because it's curved. And it gives you extra head height in the place you walk. Because you obviously walk down the middle of a bus and then you sit down to the sides. And the same with the ceiling, obviously everything was curved.
Yeah.
You have many keyboards.
That one was pre the second
That's a
one.
normal keyboard, and then this one is a special one,
Yeah.
which is for.
It's a synthesizer.
It's a synthesizer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just comes off the wall, it's on French cleats.
Yeah.
And you can play it. And then behind the door, so we didn't have room really for a bookcase.
Yeah.
So we thought, well, let's make our bedroom door a bookcase.
Yeah. Secret door.
This is a pull-out sofa, just a single one really.
Yeah.
If we
A
use
sofa
that.
bed.
Sofa bed.
Yeah.
And then that just slides across on a runner. Your laptop's in the way.
Yeah.
Where the magic happens. That's what they say in cribs.
It's like queen size bed.
Yeah. It's a UK. It's a standard double.
Yeah.
We didn't want to go for a small double because we just wanted to be comfortable.
Right.
And we've got enough space around the edge of the bed. The windows, we've got these two small these windows here that open, and then obviously we've got the back, which is the emergency exit, which is a lovely window to get a bit of fresh air coming through as well. Either side, just sort of to the left and right of you, we've got wardrobes. My side is slightly larger than G's, I'm not going to lie.
And it's as well something recycled. No?
Yeah. Again, these were second-hand doors that we repurposed. We've also got this, if we are wanting a bit of a lazy evening and watch TV in bed, then this is an arm that holds my laptop screen, tablet screen. So if we want to watch something in bed, then we can do.
And I guess under the bed as well, there is storage.
It's an ottoman bed. So we bought the bed, and then G made a brand new frame because, as he just mentioned a few moments ago, the floor of the bus is curved. So he had to make a curved bed frame to accommodate, and then we used the mechanism. So underneath it's all storage. The other thing we wanted to do when we made the bed frame was find to make and create a little bed space for the dog. She loves being underneath things, as you see. So underneath here, she's got her little bed.
Nice.
And she does go in it. She loves it. She's got her own little curtain because we've got a Super King size duvet on here.
Nice. And I guess because you used a lot of recycled materials, the total build cost was quite friendly.
So total bill, we did the entire thing for 22,000.
Yeah,
English.
that's amazing.
That's buying the bus. That was £1,000 for me to take my license to drive it.
Yeah.
It was £5,000 worth of solar panels, inverter, batteries.
Yeah.
We wanted to go top of the range, so we went Victron with everything, just because we wanted to have reliable energy. And then everything else was the bits and bobs added on. But yeah, we shopped around, and that was part of the reason it took us a little bit longer, because we were looking locally what we could find without having to buy new. So that was the first big scary hole I cut in the bus.
Yeah.
Which is always a bit nerve-wracking with the jigsaw and an angle grinder. One thing I haven't built yet is a ladder, so we just use these, and then you just pull yourself up. You have to be strong. stand on if you want.
And there is a roof
Yeah.
terrace. Oh, nice. You even have a grass.
Yes, this is our little tiny garden.
Yeah.
6 solar panels. I put in some, these are stainless steel, again from a boat, rails on the side, just to give you something to push your feet against and not fall off. And then we've got our 6 solar panels, which need a little bit of a clean. And then the chimney stack that comes out there, it's removable.
Okay. So all the top comes off? Or?
Yeah, so the whole piece slides out, and then we just put a cap over the whole. Because we didn't want to have any extra height when we're on the road.
Yeah. And important not to forget.
Yeah, exactly. So that just pulls out of there.
Yeah, nice. And do you use terrace often? Or?
Not a huge amount. Like we should use it more. I need to build a ladder so it's easy to get up here. But you can see the view. It's beautiful. It's such a nice place to sit, have a beer.
Yeah.
And then one day my dream is to take the bus to like a festival and have my DJ decks up on here.
Oh yeah.
And then speakers. And then we can just have it as a platform and everyone can be dancing.
Right.
That happened one day.
So this is what you do now for a living, the DJ?
No, that's just a hobby. Maybe one day it'll be a living, but it's a hobby for now. I just started playing in town. So this was the old emergency exit where people would come out of the bus from the inside. This is behind the bathroom. And before we had decided on the complete design of the bus, I was talking to a good friend of mine who's built his own van. He lives in it full-time off-grid. He said, you have to have a garage. He said, you've got space, have a garage, because you'll need it for storage and for all your kind of utilities. So I'm really glad he did, because it's brilliant. I'll show you inside. So it's pretty full, like spare winter clothes or summer clothes or a fancy dress. We have 2 gas bottles in here. The reason we didn't want an underslung gas tank was because we didn't want to drive the bus to get gas. We wanted to be able to just take a bottle. So they're the red safe fill ones. This is our boiler, which is vented outside. It's just like a normal combi boiler. So it just runs when you turn the tap on. We have our 2 lithium batteries here. Inverter, step downs, fuses, washing machine. We have a suitcase generator down there, which if we need to top up the batteries, we can do that. And this is our air conditioning, which we switch out for the dehumidifier.
Let us know what do you think about this build, would you have done something differently? I will leave the links from the guys in the description below. They have Instagram account where you can find more about the build, pictures and how it was done. Thanks for watching and see you the next one. Cheers!